Well, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you, wherever you are in the world. Thank you again for joining me for another live Q&A session here on Ask VoiceOver Angela. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Um, I am, my name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator. And my channel here is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you some techniques that I use every day in my own voiceover business, and I answer your questions in these weekly Q&A sessions. Um, for those of you that are not new here, then you know that every week I have a poll question because I'm interested in your input. Uh, and this one is a question that came up earlier this week in a mastermind group that I'm in, and it really got me thinking. It was a very provocative question because it was something that I had not considered before. And so this week, the poll question is, how do you feel about cryptocurrency as payment for voiceover services or audiobook narration? And I don't know how I feel about that. I here, don't get me wrong, I don't know a whole lot about it. I mean, with all of the e-learning and how-to videos that I've actually narrated on cryptocurrency, I still don't completely understand it in this respect, in how to accept payment in cryptocurrency. So I wanted to just see what you guys thought because I'm not so sure how I feel about it. Probably mostly because I don't understand it well enough, I think. And I think if I have to just venture a guess that a lot of you feel the same. So let's hop on over to the poll really quick. And for those of you watching the replay, please leave your comments below. I would love to hear what you think too. So far we have 12 votes, and it looks like the vast majority of you said no way. But your options are I already do, I don't, but open to it, and no way. So 8% said I don't, but open to it, and 92% of you said no way. With my current knowledge level of cryptocurrency, I would also have to say no way. Unless someone can explain it to me in a way that makes sense, right? Because I'm not entirely sure how it works. So, because my understanding is that you can accept cryptocurrency, but values change, right? I don't know if that is just for the investing side or if it's like Bitcoin or if it just applies to some other types of crypto. I'm not entirely sure, all the minutia that's involved. So I don't know enough about it, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. So let's hop on over to the comments and see what you guys think about this because I'm very interested to hear. First commenter, Enterprise Voiceover. Good morning, Eric. Thank you for joining. I don't understand crypto and I don't have the patience to learn it. Seems too sketchy to me. Yeah, I think d- turning a just completely not trying to understand it, I think is wrong because I think there's going to be a lot more in the future that revolves around cryptocurrency. But as of right now, I don't I I just don't understand it enough to accept it, comfortably accept it as payment. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Eric. Rustic Hillbilly, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Today is November 22nd, and Thanksgiving here in the US is just a few days away. So happy Thanksgiving to you. Gobble gobble. John Popovich. Good morning, Angela. Missed the last couple weeks, but I'm finally free on a Tuesday. Hope all is well with you and everyone. Yeah, we're hoping that you're doing great too, John. Sorry you missed the last couple, but they are here on the replays. You can catch the replays if you want to, but it's nice to have you here live and to chat with us. How does John feel about crypto? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to think. I mean, the poll responses are one thing, but I mean, tell me why you feel the way you do. I'd like to know. I am Paximus. I had to do that. I am Paximus. Hello, Angela. Great to see you today. I'm not at all knowledgeable about crypto, so I'm here to learn from others. I'm not a fan, but I'm here to learn. Yeah, I find that you have to remain open-minded to new things. Change is hard. Change is always hard, no matter what it is, but having an open mind and accepting of the knowledge that people are willing to offer, I think is important, especially in things like this. That I truly think this is something that we're going to be seeing a lot more of going forward, you know? Um, so it definitely will be advantageous to remain open-minded about crypto. And I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Pamela McDonald is here. Good morning, Pamela. My significant other of 20 years is a financial advisor. Steer clear. Oh, okay. Little inside scoop there. Okay, okay, okay. Interesting. Thank you for that. Musical Neptunian is here. Good morning. There are already enough scammers who make fake books in VO. Crypto would attract even more scammers. True. I know, as with most new things, there's going to be people, especially when there's not a ton of regulations around it, makes it a little bit easier for people to get in there and get involved and just try to take advantage of people who really don't know much about it, right? I'm assuming that's partially why Pamela was saying to steer clear, because there is a lot of just just a lot of unknowns, perhaps, and lack of regulation, perhaps. Yeah, scammers would be no change, no change. Kim says, I don't know enough about it, nor have I cared to learn, but I'm willing to learn about it if more people go in this direction. Yeah, I'm with you, Kim. I'm willing. I'm willing to learn about it. I find it laughable that with as much, as I said before, with as much e-learning and how-to videos as I've narrated about cryptocurrency, it still doesn't make that much sense to me. And I also, as you know, edit podcasts. And there's a few podcasts that I edit that have talked at length about cryptocurrency and the benefits of and some, disadvantages of. But it still does not, like, something is just not clicking with me, and I don't know how I feel about it, right? Yeah. John says, "I guess I don't know enough about and I should learn more. I was also just turned off by the fluctuations and its value." Yeah, for sure, and my understanding about some of the volatility has to do with some of the, I forget what the term was, but there are companies that can make their own crypto. Like Bitcoin was supposed to be the original form of cryptocurrency. That was my understanding. Again, don't quote me, and I'm not saying I am any kind of professional with this at all, but my understanding um, is that Bitcoin is a finite amount of coins, right? And they're supposed to retain a certain type of value to be used across the globe for, monetary exchanges. But then there's the ability to print or create your own type of cryptocurrency, and those are the ones that are having most of the volatility and, the fluctuations. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm just explaining what my understanding is. Um, if you know more than I do, please share. Musical Neptunian. Good morning. Good morning, morning. Rustic Hillbilly says, FTX scam is crashing crypto right now. I would wait to see what happens. I haven't heard of that one, the FTX scam. What is that one? Not sure I've heard that one yet. Maybe I don't want to. Bingo, lack of regulation. Yeah. That is definitely something that I think scares me the most, perhaps, is that there is just no real regulation to it as of right now. It's just kind of scary. But let's do this really quick. I'm going to hop back over to the poll and if if you're just joining again today, the poll for today is, how do you feel about accepting cryptocurrency as payment for services? And it's not just voiceover or audiobooks. I mean, for any business, really. How do you feel about accepting crypto? I know there are some companies that do. right? And some people are starting to convert to accepting cryptocurrency. I personally do not, but it also could be just because I don't know enough about it. I don't feel secure enough to do that. But I have heard of some voice actors that are starting to do that, that are starting to accept crypto as payment. And that whole idea was just so intriguing to me. I hadn't thought of that before, right? I don't know. Anywho, I'm getting sidetracked in my head. Okay, 16 votes so far, 17 votes. It looks like 24% of you said I don't, but open to it. Still nobody says I already do. 76% said no way. Interesting. So it's starting to become so there's more people that are open to it. Interesting. Okay. Well, and I'm never going to be a person that tells somebody they're right or wrong about making a decision for their business. I mean, you guys do what you want to do. I just don't understand it enough, I think. But Eric says, you said change was good. Oh, yeah, no change. You don't like change? Change is inevitable. I was playing this stodgy old man saying, no change. Yeah, but change is always inevitable. It's whenever change occurs, and this goes for anything, but my word of advice for change is just to adapt and overcome. Change is never easy, but change is inevitable. It just is. John Popovich says, at the end of the day, cash is king. It is. And I mean, we could really go down a rabbit hole with this, right? Because as as we move along, values in regular currency change too. They fluctuate. I mean, not as drastically as crypto does. I don't know. I mean, this could be something that really, and I think that is why Bitcoin was actually created, right? Was to change the way that people exchanged money, to make it easier for people all over the globe to exchange money for goods and services digitally. But I don't know. I mean, I get the concept and I think the concept is good, but I just don't know if I personally would yet. I think there might come a time where we might have to, but I don't know. Sally is here. Sally says, good morning, Angela from Pensacola. Know virtually nothing about crypto. Yeah, I think, again, with everything that I have recorded and, of course, had to read while I was narrating, it still doesn't it still doesn't click for me how it would make sense to accept it as payment for, I don't know, maybe there's just something I'm missing. I don't know. And there was a comment that I got this week on one of my older videos where I'm like, I had to pause to apply chapstick. Yes. Chapstick is one of my vices. I cannot help it. Christy Lynn says, I feel like cryptocurrency is too unpredictable. Yeah, that's kind of my feeling with it too, that it's not stable. But again, I know that Bitcoin was supposed to be the most stable of them, and the one that the other ones, the ones that are printed off by other entities, and I don't want to name any names, but I think you guys know who the ones that I'm talking about. Those are the ones that experience the most volatility in value. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this is just what my understanding is. But still, overall, the whole idea of it is, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Sally says, what other forms of payment does VO community look into besides PayPal? I'll be looking to work on platforms like Fiverr, wondering what I need to prepare for in terms of payment. I think I know Fiverr has made quite a few changes in just the last couple of months, and I haven't looked to see if they have changed any of their payment um, the ways that you can deduct or withdraw the money that you've made. PayPal is one. I think Payoneer is also in there. And then you can also have them, I think, direct deposit into your bank account if you choose. And I think there is another form too, but it's not coming to mind. So you have a few options, but I think most of these platforms will either have PayPal, Payoneer, or direct deposit, I think is how most of them work. I know Upwork also takes PayPal, um, and another form, I think, direct deposit. So that is definitely something that I would be looking at. Take a look at all of the platforms that you are looking at to join. And that is definitely one thing that I would look at. Like, check their FAQs, look around their site. They should list who they accept um, to link to your profile in terms of you collecting the money that you earn. If it's direct deposited, if it's dropped into PayPal or Payoneer, definitely look around and see what kind of payment services they use. And then decide, excuse me, from there, which ones you want to go with. But I think most of them are PayPal and Payoneer or direct deposit. Right off the top of my head, I think those are the big threes. John Popovich says, that's a good point, Angela. This is a great debatable topic. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Because again, when that question came up and I was like, my brain exploded. And then somebody had said, oh, so-and-so does, check with them. So I was like, oh my God. So people are actually doing this. I just found it intriguing. So I wanted to see if I'm just late to the bus or if this is how I feel is how other people feel. And it's nice to know that I'm not alone, but I think inevitably there is going to be a change or a shift. I just want to know if I'm not alone in that respect either. If no, if you guys are just like, I don't know. Danny says, hola, Angela. Hello from Texas. I would hold off on accepting crypto as it is tanking currently. I do feel it is the future. The problem is timing the market to accept it at the right time. That's a great point. Someone had brought that up in the conversation earlier this week about um, having it deposited and then withdrawing it on the same day. So I guess its value won't change. But then the value could still fluctuate in your wallet or on your see, those are the things that just don't connect for me. So there might just be a big piece of this that I'm missing. But yeah, Danny, I'm with you. I feel it is going to be something that we're going to have to face in the future. But as of right now, there's just too much fluctuation for it to make sense. Because, I mean, in my head, if you're negotiating something with a client and they say, okay, it's going to be worth X, and then they pay you X, but then a couple days later, it's not worth X anymore. I mean, am I missing something? I don't see how that would be smart. But then again, what do I know? Rockin' Dave Byron, says, greetings from North Fort Myers, Florida. Hope all is well. I can finally get on the live chat. Hurricane Ian did some major damage down here and was the scariest experience we went through. Thank God we survived. Well, that was incredible, incredibly devastating, that hurricane. I'm glad that you and yours are safe. I really feel for everybody down there in Florida. That was just horrendous, the damage that hurricane did. But I'm glad that you are here and everybody is safe. Thank you for being here. Whoops, I skipped Danny. Sorry, Danny. I accept Square and PayPal. I have not tried Payoneer or other options. I would be interested in options. Yes, Square, we actually discussed payment types. Was it last week or the week before? I forget which. And there were a lot of great recommendations listed. So if if you are interested in different payment options, I would go back and watch that replay. I want to say it was last week or the week before. I don't remember which. My memory is just garbage. But Square was one that came up. Wave. Is it Wave or Waves? Where are my notes? I'm going to have to find my notes because you guys came up with some really great ones. See, was it last week? Maybe it wasn't last week. Maybe it was the week before. It was the week before. I think it was the 1st of November that we went on and we talked about this. So we talked about Zoom, Stripe, Square, Wave, and there were a few others that were mentioned. So definitely having options, having more than one payment type or payment platform to accept payments through is good to have for sure. Rockin' Dave Byron says, I have a question. Do you do the voice for behind the audition, like your channel and appreciate your advice, especially since we lost about 75% of our live gigs. I'm a performing guitarist. Oh. Behind the audition, no, that is not me. No, most of what I do is I don't do anything like really super big. I've done a couple of things that were really cool to me and big in my mind, but I like to work with like the more smaller businesses and the indie authors, things of that nature. It's more fulfilling to me to help people that aren't super big. I know, call me strange, but no, that's not me. But I appreciate that you find helpful information here. That's what I aspire to do with this live Q&A. So I appreciate you. Rustic Hillbilly says FTX was world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. They filed bankruptcy, owing over $3 billion, I believe, to top investors alone. Some are speculating it could take years to recover. That is scary by itself. Yeah, because so there are different companies that have wallets. Am I right in saying that? Where you could digitally store your crypto and right? Those are wallets where you store those. And there's several companies that you can do that through. Is that correct? So if that is correct, then that is something else to consider. What happens if one of those goes belly up? Then what? Just like FTX. It's something else. Good God. Edwin 00 says, well, awesome, Angela. That is certainly something different. Do you think the VO community will ever consider a barter system? I mean, hey, I give great massages, the legal variety, of course. I definitely think that some people, if you are a voice artist or an audiobook narrator, more so for voice artist, if you go out locally, go out to the mom and pop shops in your own community and strike up a conversation with the owners and tell them that you're a voice actor. And if it's a shop that you go to a lot, why not barter? Give me X amount of store credit and I will record your IVR. I will record your commercials. I will, whatever it is. Why not? You could. Sure. Absolutely. I don't know about the massage thing, but definitely bartering is not off the table. Why not? It's your business. That's what you want to do it. Musical Neptunian responding to Rustic Hillbilly. The person appointed to investigate the FTX crash has said that it is the most scandalous lack of records that he has ever seen. Wow, that just sounds horrific and so scary, right? If this is the direction that we're going, albeit not anywhere in the, near future, all of this stuff is going to have to be regulated and sorted out. And wow, it just boggles my mind. Yeesh. Leslie says, love wave. Yeah, I looked at it that night and then I never went back to looking at it again. But I have heard just as I mentioned in that um, the last time we were talking about it, I think on the 1st of November, that someone else there was another voice artist that had mentioned Wave. I want to say it was Mark Scott who had mentioned Wave for invoicing and collecting payments. And that is definitely something to look at. And apparently Leslie agrees. So check that out if you're looking for payment services. JCCAOL says, I feel it's too new and it will be, I think, a few years before we can be sure. I think if crypto is used, what is to stop one from using gold? By the way, happy Thanksgiving, Angela. You're absolutely right. And happy Thanksgiving to you. You know what? I thought about having like a cute little turkey graphic like right before we started. So I didn't get time to make one. So I apologize. No cheesiness today. I apologize for that. But yeah, using gold. Wow. It's really thought provoking, isn't it? The things that we could do or may do. Okay, I have to go back to the poll. I have to see what everybody else is saying. So again, today's poll, pardon me while I flip through my screens here. How do you feel about accepting cryptocurrency as payment for voiceover services, audiobook services, or just your small business services in general? And right now we have 29 votes. Still nobody says I already do. I want to say that I'm a little bit surprised by that because I thought for sure we'd have at least a couple of you saying that, yeah, everything's fine. I do it all the time. But we have 28% of you that says I don't, but open to it. And 72% of you said no way. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Sounds like the landscapers are here outside with the cleaning up the community before the holiday. So I apologize if you're hearing any of the going on in the background. Sally says Rustic Hillbilly has a point about bankruptcy on crypto. Almost smells of a Ponzu scheme. Ponzi scheme? Ponzu scheme. Ponzu is delicious. Surely not. Yeah, I think with crypto, there's going to have to be, and I'm surprised that there aren't already some or more regulations in place. I'm not even sure if there are any. Again, I don't know much about crypto or if there are any regulations in place, but there really needs to be. It's sort of, and I've heard this said before, but sort of like the wild, wild west, you know? It's just, I think that part makes me the most uncomfortable and the volatility. Those two together. Yeah, I don't know. Rockin' Dave Byron says, this is why I like your channel because you're honest. And I agree. You get more steady work with smaller companies. Yeah, and thank you for that. I try. I try to be just as open and transparent as I can be. I'm not trying to be or say or do something that I'm not. Because we're just, we're all just real people doing real things. So let's just be real. Right? But yeah, I like working with the smaller companies. I do. And indie authors, because I've had people ask me, well, what big companies have you worked for? And I don't want to be judged on, does that make me more of a more professional or certifiable voice actor if I have large companies that I work for? Not necessarily. I've done just fine working for smaller companies and brand new authors with their debut novels. I really like that. I really like being the one to give a voice to something that took somebody years to make and create and poured themselves into. I like that, so that is what I choose to do. Does it make me any less of a voice actor or an audiobook narrator? I just choose smaller companies. Yeah. Sally says, are we looking at potential Ponzi schemes? I mean, because of the lack of regulation in this, I think it's very possible. I know there has been a lot of issues with it already, but again, I don't know what I don't know. You know what you don't know? I'm sure there could be a lot of things that we're going to see in the future coming forward as regulations are hopefully finally put in place. Uh, let's see. Leslie says we have used bartering for years in our other business. Has worked for us over 20 years. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I want to say that I have, but it was a long time ago in terms of like physical goods. But cash is king. But there's nothing wrong with bartering. Absolutely not. Rockin' Dave Byron says, I agree with JCC AOL. Crypto is still too new. Happy Thanksgiving to all, by the way. Yeah, it is still, I mean, it's been around for a while, but it's still new in that I think a lot of people are in the same boat as I am, that we just don't understand it enough. There's just something that's not clicking to make it go, in your head, like, done, let's sign it up, let's do it, let's start, it doesn't, I don't know. I think it's just a lack of regulation and volatility. But yes, happy Thanksgiving to all. I hope you're all taking the day off. I am. Don't get many of those. Leslie says, did have some crypto years ago, but sold it due to it not being stable in value. Oh, yeah, for sure. I've never purchased it. I know my partner has, and he was trading it for a while, but I don't know what those values are now. He sort of, jumped on the boat and was active with it for a little while, but I don't know where they're at now. I don't know. Christy says, the issue for me is that the value of crypto isn't set by any physical thing. Yeah, nothing tangible. It's directly related to how popular it is. We decide based on the desire for it, how much it is worth. You're absolutely right. And that could be fleeting. It is fleeting, isn't it? You're right. Because it's worth more the more we want it. But it isn't related to anything tangible like gold or silver or, gems, or I mean, really anything that you can touch and feel, something that isn't going to change in your hand, something tangible to back it up. It's all digital. Yeah. Masonry Construction said, I'd take royalty or royalty plus before crypto. Same. Yeah, absolutely. And then John says, you are so right, Angela. You don't know what you don't know. My brother tells me that all the time. Yeah, my typical sayings are, it is what it is, because I'm just at that age where it just is what it is. There's no point in fighting against it. It just is, right? But with this, I would be much more comfortable to accept it if and when regulations are put in place. And if I don't know if it's ever going to be based on anything tangible. I think the idea going back to Bitcoin, or the origins of Bitcoin, was that the idea of Bitcoin was supposed to be a finite number of coins, right? So in that, they should be ultimately worth something because there is only so much of it, right? Am I right in that so far? But all of the other ones that have come about, that are created or minted, I think is the term, for their own use or to get into the game, those are completely determined by, again, what was said earlier about their value is based on how much we want it. So who's to say that nobody wants it tomorrow or a couple years from now? See, that part to me just sounds, I don't know, way too scary. And just you can't retire on a what if or a maybe. It's just today. what it's worth today. I don't know. Christy says, no, even with there being a finite number of Bitcoins, they're still valued by the desire for them. Well, that makes sense. So I think, if anything, I've learned today that I need to go and do more research about crypto. I think we all should. Because at least when it comes time where there are some more regulations put in place, and I don't know, maybe at that point we'll have a better understanding of how to use it so we can jump right on that bus. But as of right now, I don't know. I'm still a no. I'm still a no. I don't think I would. No. But for those of you just joining, today's poll again was, how do you feel about accepting cryptocurrency as payment? And that goes for really any business at all, not just voiceover and audiobooks. But oh, look at that. We have 31 votes now, and 3% of you, I'm guessing that's one vote, says I already do. So for you that said I already do, please share with us your wisdom. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm asking you nicely. If you already do, why do you accept it? What made you think? What was the moment, or what was the why? Why do you feel secure enough in accepting it? I have to know. And then 29% of you said I don't, but open to it. And then 68% of you said no way. Interesting. I'm really curious to hear about why you made the choice to accept crypto. And there's nothing wrong with your decision to do that. I'm just curious about why you chose to accept crypto. What made you feel comfortable enough to accept crypto? Rockin' Dave Byron says, that's the problem I have with crypto. Way too many spinoffs. Yeah, for sure. And those are the ones that I have heard anyway. Those are the ones that get in trouble the most with fluctuation, right? I don't know. And then Leslie says, the old Cabbage Patch doll theory. Small quantity equals great desire and cost. Yeah, now, but those Cabbage Patch dolls are still worth a lot today, right? Those are still worth quite a bit. So, I don't know. Christy Lynn says, it's too complicated for me to care enough to get into all the research on it. I'm too lazy for that. I just want to sit and read. At least you're honest. And I respect that. I respect that. Although I do have to say that I think there is going to come a time where we're going to have to get into it. And again, it might not be soon. It might be years still down the road. But I think there's going to be a time where we're going to have to bite the bullet and just accept it. But as of right now, there's just too many dang variables. Michael V says, things I've heard and what I understand, the original, such as Bitcoin, is decentralized, not under one entity's control, where FTX was centralized. So it was subject to nefarious influence. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Okay. And then VoiceOver Van Deen says, it's me. Really? Really? I already dabble in the space, so it's just another payment method that I'm happy to accept if it closes a deal. Interesting. Okay. So then do your values that you get paid, do they remain the same? How does that work? How can you be sure that what you're being paid remains what you were paid, if that makes sense, that the value of what you were paid doesn't change? I think that is the big question. Michael V says, and as a side note, there has been rumors of the US government replacing physical money with a centralized digital currency. I have heard that too. And I think that is something that is also going to be coming down the mountain or the pike or whatever, however the saying goes, with all currency at some point is going to be digital. Yeah, I've heard that too. VoiceOver Van Deen says the only problem currently is the limited on and off ramps provided by the UK banking system due to regulatory enforcement. So I'm really interested to know how that works. So when you're paid a certain dollar amount or, whatever do you have to withdraw it and move it into your bank account to make sure that it stays the same amount of money? Because if it stays in your wallet, it will still fluctuate with the market, right? Or am I just a complete idiot? I just don't know enough. Yes, that was a snort. For those of you watching, I do snort from time to time. That's okay. I'm fine with it. Masonry Construction says Dave Ramsey advises to invest only in things you understand. I 200% agree. Don't jump into something without fully understanding it. You'll just end up shooting yourself in the face, right? Definitely no. I'm with you. Elizabeth says, "Hi, Angela. I don't understand crypto, so that's a no for me. I still don't even understand NFTs. I think NFTs was just a fad, to be honest. It came and went really, really quickly. It was something that was just kind of silly. I think that was really just like a FOMO thing and like a strategy for branding and not branding, but what's what I'm looking for? Like a commercial type of I don't know. It's came and went. NFTs. There's I don't know. Personal opinion. Again, I am in no way a professional on any of this stuff, but this is just based on my understanding. JCC AOL says, Angela, when you were a little girl, did you have a Cabbage Patch doll? I wasn't crazy for one, but I think I ended up getting one at some point. But I was never really like a Barbie doll girl. I was more of a Hot Wheel girl. I played with cars. I remember when people were fighting each other to get one during the holidays. I remember that too. I remember the whole craze around Cabbage Patch dolls. I think I was more interested in the Garbage Pail Kid cards, to be honest. But I think I ended up getting one at some point, but I wasn't like crazy for one. Christy Lynn VO says it doesn't stay the same though, as far as I know. It changes with the value of the coin. At VoiceOver Van Deen can correct me if I'm incorrect. Yeah, it seems like we have VoiceOver Van Deen in here is the only one in this chat that has accepted crypto as payment. And now you're like the group expert. So I hope you're ready for it. Although you're probably just sitting with your nice cup of tea, trying to relax after a long day, right? And here we all picking your brain about crypto. But thank you so much for sharing what you do know, VoiceOver Van Deen. I really appreciate that. Rockin' Dave Byron says, I agree. Dave Ramsey has great advice. And then VoiceOver Van Deen says, you can choose to accept which coins, factor in I'm not sure what that is, 5H1T factor. Is that supposed to be something else for any crashes? I can suffer just the same getting paid in dollars as long as you can't ASL can't use them here. So if is that the pound or sterling? I don't know. I'm sorry. So if it crashes against the dollar, I'm out of pocket. Okay. So it really depends on what your native currency is. Not so much the Bitcoin or the crypto itself. I don't know. I think you just confused me further. You could probably see the steam coming out of my ears. JCC AOL says, what is Apple Pay? I know it's connected with Apple Incorporated, but it is pretty much a different method of pay. Does that sound right? Yeah, Apple Pay is just like a Google Wallet or like a Samsung Wallet, or there's different ways that you can like preload an account, I think, and then use that to pay with your phone. And I think there might even be like a key tag or something too that you can use. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't use it because I don't want to put money in I want to keep a tight grip on where my money is. I don't do any of that. But it's a way that you can pay with your phone so you don't have to take your wallet with you everywhere. You could just kind of tap the screen, with Apple Pay or Google Wallet or Samsung Pay or whatever some of the other ones are. It's like a preloaded account that you can just use to pay for things. But that's based on real money, like from your account, not crypto. I think you could probably link it to crypto, but that's my understanding. VoiceOver Van Deen says at Christy Lynn VO, yep, it fluctuates like any currency compared against your own. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Michael V says useless info. NFT stands for non-fungible. Is it fungible? It's fungible, right? Token? Yeah, it's like it's like a link to a digital thing. And it could be some JPEG that is downloaded off the internet. Or it could even be something else, like a link to something else that is exclusive to that person with that link, in theory. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about NFTs either. And then JCCAOL says, I think when it comes to toys, you would like the Tim Burton collection, tragic toys for girls and boys. I am a huge Tim Burton fan. Love Tim Burton. I love all his movies, and I'm a huge Tim Burton fan. So yes, I would. So I'm going to have to go check that out. Tragic toys for girls and boys. I like the way it rhymes too. Yes, I'm writing it down. Tragic toys for girls and boys. Thank you for that. Now I have something else to go buy a bunch of. My partner thanks you in advance. Rockin' Dave Byron says, playing with Hot Wheels. You're my kind of gal, Angela. Just like my wife, Deb. She played with cars when she was little, LOL. My first loves were Corvettes. Those were my first loves. But yes, I was a Hot Wheels girl. And that is what led me to working in the automotive industry for 20 plus years, was because I wanted to play with the cars. I wanted to drive the cars. Yeah, because I'm a car guy or gal. Always have been. And then Rockin' Dave Byron says, Apple Pay, Google Pay, crypto. This reminds me of S&G green stamps. Yeah. Yeah. There's just so much out there. There's just too many dang variables. It just makes my head hurt. And just try to keep things with all of the new stuff out there and different ways to get stuff. I just feel more comfortable with the tighter I can keep things, close to me I don't want to spread my information or my money around in, a bunch of different places. I want to keep things contained, I guess. VoiceOver Van Deen says, say a customer wants to pay me in Doge. I might apply a 10% premium to cover me for fluctuation and exchange fees. If I think Doge is going to rise, I can keep it or trade it straight. Oh, interesting. So you can keep it. So am I right in thinking that crypto in your wallet will fluctuate with the market? So you can either pull it out right away and convert it into your native currency, or you can keep it in your digital wallet and it'll fluctuate with the market. Is that right? Am I right in saying that? Nadia says, even for those of us that the dollar is not our main currency and you suffer with currency fluctuations, it's still a somewhat controlled fluctuation. With crypto, there is a lot more risk. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because currency, wherever you are, is going to fluctuate, but it's subtle relative to crypto. For sure. It's a lot more volatile. But I think it's also because it's so new and lack of, I don't want to say appropriate, but regulations. At some point in the future, it's probably going to be another, just another way of another form of payment. But for right now, there's just too many variables, too many what ifs, too much that's unclear. Hmm. Okay, really quick. Again, if you're just joining, today's poll was, how do you feel about accepting cryptocurrency as payment? 33 votes, and it looks like voiceover Van Deen, I think that's still you, right? That you already do. 30% of you said I don't, but open to it, and then 67% said no way. Interesting. So the people that are open to it is starting to kind of creep up a little bit, and that's interesting. So is that because we're making more sense of it as we go along through this conversation? Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, okay. And then Michael V says, I believe that Apple Pay, Google Wallet, or Samsung Pay is linked to your bank account and acts and as an escrow. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's how I see it. VoiceOver Van Deen says, yep, that's right. Just like if a customer pays me in dollars on a platform like, say, Upwork, I can choose to leave it on there in dollars and cash it out when the pound is weak by comparison. Interesting. So if you were concerned about any kind of market fluctuation, you would probably or keep an eyeball on when your client deposits the money into that wallet. So then if you are concerned about fluctuation, you could pull it out straight away into your native currency. But if you think that the market may go up or down, well, if it goes up, you probably want to leave it in there so you gain a few more, right? But if you're afraid that it's going to go down, then you pull it out right away. Wow, it just I don't know if I would have the patience for that, but I understand. And that makes sense. So for those of you watching, with the help of VoiceOver Van Deen, does this information sort of make you a little bit more comfortable about it? Or are you still in the heck no, no way? I'd really like to know. Because with VoiceOver Van Deen's help, which I really appreciate, thank you so much for explaining it and explaining it to us here. It has helped me to understand it a little bit better, but I still think, me personally, that there's still too much volatility and lack of regulation that makes me say, I don't know. And then Van Deen says, GBP against the dollar has varied between one, I've got my glasses on, 1.04 and 1.919 over the past 2 months. You just need to time your exchange to suit you. Crypto is no different. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But I think the issue with crypto is that it fluctuates more drastically and a lot more often, right? And then John says, not comfortable, but eager to do more research and understand it more. Yeah, I'm with you, John. I am in that same boat with you. That I'm not completely comfortable with it yet, but I am willing to do more research and understand it a little bit more. With the help of Mr. Van Deen, I do understand it a little bit better, but I'm still in the still need to do a lot more research before I start signing up for wallets and, openly accepting crypto as payment. I don't know. Still a little scary for me anyway. All right, guys. Well, we've been on for about an hour now. If anybody has any final questions, crypto or not, please feel free to post them below. Otherwise, we'll wrap this one up. Let's see. Oh, we just had another comment come in. Let's see. Lorna. Hey, Lorna. Lorna's Adventures After 50 says, pre-lockdown worked for VW Credit, and they sent us to workshops on blockchain and cryptocurrency. Major banks were already working on their own version. VW uses blockchain to track mining minerals. Interesting. Yeah, I think purchasing cars with crypto is already a thing. I don't know if all the manufacturers, like their respective finance companies, are like VW Credit, NEMAC, I don't know if they are, well, no, because then you'd be financing. You could probably buy a car outright with crypto. I don't know if you can finance with crypto. See, now we're going down a complete different rabbit hole. But that's interesting. And the landscapers are like right outside my door, so I hear. Can you guys hear them? Yeah, they're right out there. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap this one up then if nobody has any other questions or anything. But thank you again, everyone, for being here today and for participating in the chat. It was a very provocative question that I had to know your opinions on. Oh, we just had a few more questions. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Lorna says Apple Pay, Google Pay are connected to bank accounts like PayPal, more secure, so you don't have to put your credit card or bank to general public. Apple uses my fingerprint, then is just like a debit purchase. Yeah, a little bit more secure than using crypto, I would think. Yeah. Leslie says, have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for the topic. Really interesting. Thank you, Leslie. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And then Christy says, no crypto related. Do you have any words that you are uncomfortable saying when recording an audiobook? And if so, how would you move past that to record? Example, some don't like the word moist. No, I think I've said every word under the sun at this point, and it's just a matter of mindset for me. Knowing that I am a professional being paid to do a service, and that service is narrating this script or narrating this audiobook, and it doesn't represent me or my beliefs. It is me just merely being a professional fulfilling a service. So I have to keep that mindset to be able to move past words that I may be uncomfortable with, but knowing what words are included in that copy or the manuscript before you even get started are definitely going to help you make the decision of whether or not you're actually going to accept the job, right? Because if there's some words that just are a complete hard, excuse me, a complete hard stop for you, then you definitely, another reason to definitely review the script or the copy before accepting the job. But again, there isn't anything that I don't think I haven't said at this point. So moist doesn't bother me. You just have to make sure that you include that T, moist. Great question, though. Rockin' Dave Byron says, thank you, Angela, and all for this interesting topic. It is definitely something to think about. Happy Thanksgiving and God bless. Absolutely. Very provocative question. Thank you guys for participating today. I appreciate it. Jason says, Angela, thanks for all the wonderful insight to this world of VO. You're so very welcome. And thank you for being here, Jason. Masonry Construction says, with limited time, invest in marketing instead of crypto. Yes. Yes. Lorna says, just FYI, for some reason, unable to chat on my tablet, had to switch. While in Europe in 2021, several markets had crypto ATMs and did take crypto as pay too. Interesting. Yeah, I think that is when it was like brand new, right? And then we started to see some issues that I think were unforeseen at that point. And then once those issues started to arrive, everybody kind of pumped the brakes a little bit and said, okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. We need to see how this is going to play out and maybe what kind of regulations need to be put in place, because this is just a little too crazy. It's interesting how things change, right? Change is inevitable one way or the other. Oh, Christy Lynn says, thanks for your response. Great advice. Yeah, I think it just mindset, really. It's really what it is. It's just mindset, knowing that you are the professional paid to be doing this service for them. And then everything else is just, it's not you. It's not what you're saying, right? You as the individual. It's not your thoughts or ideas. You're just paid to give them a voice and to give them some emotion for your client, right? John Popovich says, thank you, Angela. Very good topic for future episodes in the future when we all research more. Absolutely. I think we should circle back to this and see, maybe in a few months, or if something big happens, we can come back and talk about this again. I think it was a great topic. And thank you for everybody who participated in today's topic. I really appreciate you. But until next week, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. And I will see y'all next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you so much again. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.